Hello, my rosy readers. Welcome back to my channel. Today's book review is about a book I recently finished reading, and I wanted to get this, talk about it while the thoughts are still kind of fresh in my mind. So, today's book is The Ghost of Melody Lane. Yeah, this is on my Kindle. It's pretty inexpensive. It's an ebook from, what was copyrighted in 1933. So this is from the 1930s. The Great Depression is mentioned, of course, in this, and the characters are going through some tough spots, of course, as like with most stories from this era. There's a little something that, helps out the main character in a way, so it's kind of as an escapist book, if you will. Yes, it shows the characters going through hardships, but it also shows, characters getting out of those hardships where some people might not have. So, it is fiction. But I found this to be pretty interesting for the most part, at least the mystery aspect of it. The beginning, it kind of starts off a little slow, and so it kind of feels like a bore, kind of getting through it. I mean, of course, it's not to say that knowing more about these characters and their trials and what they're going through isn't interesting. It's just, well, of course, I think the format doesn't exactly help either. The format doesn't exactly, the way it was, formatted in the ebook didn't work out very well. I'd say it's atrocious. But it's, after a little while, you can kind of get through that part even. So, but, once you get past that part and you actually get into the actual mystery, you're like, oh, this is what I'm more of looking for. So, I think what the main problem with this book is there's a lot of talk about the mystery, I guess you can say it. Not exactly a whole lot of action involved. Like I said, it's not that here reading about these characters' hardships makes it any. Well, if you're want to understand how things are going through at that time, yeah, that probably would work. But with this, it seemed like there was a lot of focus, a little too much focus on that. Yes, the main character, whose name is Carol Duncan, she does lose her job as an organist at the movie theater, because it's back in the days when you needed an organist, or in some cases, an orchestra to go with the movies. And then apparently, according to this was like right when the actual soundtracks were coming out and that they can play without needing an organist or an orchestra. So, you kind of see a bit of that transition. But it also doesn't exactly give too much focus in the mystery at the beginning, and so the mystery itself is actually pretty good. It's kind of reminded me of a mix between Scooby-Doo and Nancy Drew. The actual mystery itself is pretty interesting. Like I said, you get like a few little clues here and there sprinkled out throughout the beginning half of it. But the second half is when you actually really feel like, okay, now this is more like a Nancy Drew or Scooby-Doo mystery, you know? Just that. And the first half is like more like introducing these characters and introducing this world. Kind of, and I have not read the second book in the series, so I can't exactly say if that's what the main thing about this was, or just to give you the juicy gossip on what's going on in these characters' backstories. And so it technically is a little less of a focus on the mystery itself, but once you actually get to that mystery, you're just like, bang, bang, bang. You probably could have cut this book in half and just stuck with the mystery half of it. And maybe the formatting doesn't exactly work quite as well as it could have, but I don't think that really helped with the way the story progressed. Or at least it didn't exactly have much of an effect. But yeah, you hear about this ghost at the very beginning. You get a couple of clues to it, and then like the second half, you know, boom, 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 you're solving or at least Carol is solving the mystery. Clues are there, and some of it you do kind of figure out fairly early on. I mean, you know, it's like, oh yeah, this person, but it's like that's like half of it, and then you have to deal with like the other half with a character that you didn't even know about until now, until they've solved the mystery. So, you know, it's one of those things where, yeah, this whole idea really works out. It's just, it needed to be better executed. You know, because you're going through this and you're just like, okay, yeah, this character's feeling, you know, stressed out from this and that and this and that. But while I said that, yeah, they do focus quite a bit on Carol's struggles, you don't exactly get the feel of the stress she's really feeling. And I think that's another problem with this, too. It's, you know everything's gonna work out. You just know it. But there, even if you do know that something's gonna work out, there's still a way of showing that stress in the words you use. So, I mean, you can see parts of it here and there, but for the most part, you're like, you know, she's got it together. You know, she's like a superwoman. And it's just, what's the word I want to use? Anyways, the word escapes me, but, you know, you can still show the stress of a character going through a moment, you know, the anxiety and all that. It just doesn't come off very well in the way this book is written. And that's one of my main critiques of it is that, yeah, the author wants us to get to know these characters. Almost like creatures there. It's Halloween. And you kind of do. The younger sister seems more like a caricature. You know, she seems kind of flat. I mean, there's a couple moments you're like, yeah, there's a little bit of character development shining through there. But just very little. I mean, even Carol, it's like, okay. I mean, yeah, sure, you're not exactly going into some of these mysteries like, oh, this is, how things are gonna roll, but, or, you're gonna get some definite character changes, or, and in stories like this, you're not quite exactly looking for character development. The main thing is the mystery. So, and even then, the mysteries in this one seems to be more like in half the book. At least the majority of it. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's still an interesting read. I'd say definitely check it out, and just, if you want a bit of a Nancy Drew, Scooby-Doo type of a feel to it, like I said, it's going to happen more in the second half, that you kind of get that. I mean, the first half was starting to build up to something, and then we kind of go under, and then we'll come back to building up the mystery again, and it's like, no, you need to keep building, okay? Just keep going. Don't stop because this character is going through this, or this character is going through that. Or you're going to talk about society. Or, comment on the gossip of the town, or something like that. So, yeah, it's okay. I don't mind it. I did give it 4 stars on Goodreads and Amazon, because I still did like it. It still had that enough of a Scooby-Doo and a Nancy Drew feel to it. I was like, yeah, I definitely did like it. But I probably just skipped through to the second half of the book, because the first half, like I said, is such a drag. Oh my gosh. I felt like I was there forever. Just had to force myself through it. It's like, come on. Like I said, I've pretty much already forgotten the first half. Second half was a little bit more memorable. Like I said, that was where all the interesting stuff happened in the mystery, mostly. So, there's obviously a few things that you remember from the first half, but the meat of it's all in the second half. That's really it. So, yeah, definitely give this a check out if you want to. If you're not really looking for anything Nancy Drew, Scooby-Doo, or if you are, but you don't want to go through all the lingo of the 1930s and all that, don't worry about it. It's not exactly like you're missing out on anything, but it's, it's still an interesting, kind of a fun read. Kind of. Like I said, I definitely would reread the second half of this book again, because it's pretty good. Anyways, so, yeah, that's The Ghost of Melody Lane. And I do hope you are interested in checking it out. It's kind of, yeah, this is kind of in line with the theme of this month. Last 2 weeks was more roses, and it's kind of getting more and more deeper as we go along. But there is a rose in this, so it kind of deals in part again with the theme for this month, which seems to be the roses. So yeah, there's still that, and the mystery in here involves an organ. So for this month's Halloween read, that should give you a hint to what that is. Maybe. We'll see. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful day. keep on reading. If this isn't for you, hopefully you find something that is for you. Again, thanks for stopping by. God bless. Have a wonderful day. Bye.